not expecting this whatsoever.
Don't let them change you. Oh, no.
Oh my God. Oh my God. I swear to you, I have... Kia ora and welcome. My name's Zoe Stevie and I'm your vocal coach for today. I am a tiny bit nervous today because I'm going to do my best to take a look at Stan Walker with Bulletproof, Soul Deep and Could You Be Loved. I am a little bit nervous because Stan Walker is one of the most incredible vocalists out there. And I know I've never heard this performance, but I know he's going to be doing some crazy things. I don't know him personally. Not all New Zealanders know each other, but I did see him at one of his New Zealand Idol performances way back in, I want to say 2006. I think that's when it was, down in Christchurch. He was amazing then, but the way that he has developed and worked at his singing, worked at his art and everything is just like out of this world. It's just, shut up, Zoe, and just let's take a look at what he's up to with his voice. If you do not know Stan Walker, shame on you. Go and follow him. I'll put his link in the description below. No, shame on you. How are you meant to know every artist in the world? Shut up, Zoe.
Hey, what's it gonna take now? Hey, what you say? What's it gonna take? Hey, what you say? What's it gonna take? Hey, what you say? What's it gonna take? What's it gonna take? Hey, what you say? What's it gonna take? It's been a while. I'm back again.
I was not expecting this whatsoever. Hey, what you say? Holy shit. This is officially going on my playlist to jam out to. I didn't realize it was. I love gospel. Let's just do that again. I was not ready. Hey, that is high for a male. I want to say chest voice register. But what I think he's done is taken the thick vocal folds further up in the range. We're also seeing more of a trumpet shape in that. Hey, little bit of the twang coming in there, but it's not a really thin sound that we would expect to hear. So I'm sure he's going to be bringing it. He goes, oh, whatever he does. Let's watch it again. There, what you gonna take, yeah? I mean, fuck, that's high in my female vocal register. That's high for a dude, okay? But we've got this little bit of that twang going on, tightening in the area above the larynx. This is one of those songs where you're just like, I need to listen to this 500 times to really get a good sense of what's going on. Okay, we're on the F4 there. Okay, okay, but for a male vocal register above the middle C is really where we need to start doing something different with that chest voice quality. That's why I think that this is speech quality taken higher, which means we've got a higher larynx, thicker vocal folds, but we're going, let me in. That doesn't help you because that was in my mind and not actually speaking out loud. So thicker vocal folds taken further up, but you actually acoustically within yourself feel like you're getting quieter. It seems like he's putting lots of effort into the sound, but I think that has a lot to do with show. It's probably not the main driver of the sound. So tell me out, let me in. I mean, my voice, this is going to sound, it's not going to sound like him, right? Okay. So this is just like the way that these things sound in my voice, not making fun of anyone, stands the most, like utmost respect for this dude. He's an incredible singer. I'm already excited about the song. So we've got the twang coming out. Shut me out, let me in. He's going in and out of that twang in order to color the sound. Twang, again, the area above the larynx is being squeezed. Using as well the mouth position, which is key, especially when we're working with twang, so that it doesn't just sound like we're saying, twang can sometimes sound like we're singing through our nose. So shut me out, let me in. Going in and out of that sound. But this is high level coordination here.
But you're shooting me down, down, yeah, yeah. Hey, can you hear me say? Can you hear me crying out? Oh, only I could get. It's like your heart is. Yeah, yeah. I just can't get it's like your heart is.
Because I can't get through to you. So we've got, I would say it is definitely like a more of a speechy sound. We're not getting like the fullness of the vocal folds if we were to expect any, what's happening with my accent? If we were to expect any type of belt, if I want to get through to you. And he's got a little bit of that grit coming in there, a little bit of the constriction. I can't do that at that level, so I'm not even going to try. A little bit of that grit could be due to a whole bunch of different things, but usually it is the false vocal folds just coming over top of the true vocal folds. That is hard to do at that level, but on these slightly thinner vocal folds, it's a little bit easier than like on a full mass.
Hey, can you hear me say? Can you hear me crying out? Oh, only I could get. It's like your heart is.
Okay, although I can't do it. If only I could get with those slightly more, like those more closed vowels. If only I could get through to you. Those closed vowels is where he's adding on a little bit more of those effects or the constriction. Only I could get through to you. So that way, when he's going though into those more wider open vowels, that's when he's letting off the constriction or that tension within the throat. And that's really important when we're singing, that we don't just go, oh, I'm in constriction, I'm just keeping the throat really, really tight. We're wanting to make sure that we're able to tighten and loosen the throat to allow the movement of the vocal folds to then allow that deeper, more resonant sound for those lower notes to come through again.
It's like your heart is. Yeah, yeah. Oh, I just can't get it's like your heart is. Bulletproof. What's it gonna take now? Let me hear you say what you say. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let me hear you say, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me crying?
Oh my God. Firstly, like to record this in this situation, wow, that is like an absolute recording masterpiece. Okay. I don't think that the trumpets and things are in the same room as them, but I'm not quite sure. But yeah, very difficult to do this type of recording. This means that like the vocals have to be so on point. And this is why I stress to all of my students, like pitching is, I think it's become a lost art. I know that sounds really odd. I went to rehearsal with my band yesterday, actually, and I'm in a new band, and I was doing the recording of the vocals, and they were like, yeah, Zoe, it's great. The vocals are on pitch, like they're in tune. And I was like, what? Like that's the minimum, like in tune, minimum for vocals. And I think that honestly singing in tune has become less important due to all of these auto tunes and that sort of stuff. It's an art. Sing like this in a group of people, and you have to be like bang on pitch, because there ain't no tuning the pitches when there's like 5 different bleeds of microphones coming into one. I've actually got and this sounds like a big sale thing. This is a software called Sing and See. I've been using it for the last 17 years. It's from a New Zealand company. And they're called Sing and See. I'll put a link in the description below. As I said, I've been using it 17 years. I was part of like the trial group. I think it was at 17. I don't know. It's a long time anyway. All my singing students get it. Obsessed with this singing software to teach you how to sing in tune. I was like a full-on sales pitch, but like honestly, it works.
Can you hear me crying out? Oh, only I could get. It's like your heart is.
Did you know that? I don't know if he's doing this on purpose. It's like I want to get through to you. So ba-da-da-da-da. When he's going for those louder, higher sounds, there's more body tension all of a sudden, and he's letting it go. This is the professional singer at work, right? You're noticing like it as being one fluid sound, but there are very different components to the singing going on that make no sense. It's an uneven tension, vocal fold closure, and breath flow to create a sound that sounds consistent.
I just can't get you. It's like your heart is bulletproof. Let me hear you say, yeah, 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 yeah. Let me hear you say, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. Can you hear me crying out? If only I could get.
Are you noticing the way that he's changing his mouth shape as well? If only I could get through to you. We're not going, if only I could get through to you, which would create a different vowel. All of these wonderful singers as well, who honestly, I don't even want to call BVs, because they are like, they're almost like instruments within the song as well, because they're doing so much of the singing. But he's matching Stan is matching his vowel to theirs. Only I could get through to you. Backing off the vibrato, actually backing off a lot of the core of his sound. If you notice, all of a sudden his voice disappears in the mix. And we're getting that, if only I could get that wider mouth shape, boosting those upper resonances is also going to make his voice cut over the whole group. I know this is being done in post-production, but that is also one of the reasons why we do it. Obsessed. Oh my God. So yeah, we're sort of like doodling around that F for there. So again, this is high within the male chest voice, but you can hear there's a decent, say what you're saying, what's it gonna take now? That twang, that compression, general tightening of the throat.
Small X, you ready? Sort out. Mount Zion fans.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Wow. 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 Whoa. I feel like I need to listen to that like 500 times in order to really like get the appreciation of everything that's going on. Say what you gonna take now. So we've got quite a similar sound going throughout. And now that he's speaking a little bit at the end, we're sort of hearing that, hey, that lower chest voice quality coming in with those slightly thicker vocal folds. We're going to keep on watching because I want to watch this. It's a long performance. We're going to watch the whole thing. So bear with me because I really like to look at these sorts of things to see all the different qualities that are coming in. Watch his weight as well now that his body tension has changed. Now, singers, you might think that they do this intuitively, and some of them do this intuitively. But a lot of the time, we often as singers need to be reminded to put tension into our bodies because we start to get used to the feeling of our voices. And so that's why sometimes in these sort of situations, we kind of like put it on a little bit more because singing in recordings like this sometimes takes a little bit more energy than when we kind of realize. And I was right. The drums are sitting in a different room. The brass instruments are in a different room, and then these guys are recording. So this might not be recorded all at the same time, and who cares? But because the vocals are 100%, you can really, really hear them in this recording.
You ready? Small X, you ready? That's what our Mount Zion fans. Last one. Let's move. Come on. The hands in the earth are my own. Seeds in the ground, yes I have sown. And water that falls, you can drink. I got plenty, 'cause my soul
This is a perfect example of he was talking and he goes, "I'm plans, oh." Yeah, so singers like to kind of like sing around the same sort of parts of their voice. And we're hearing a very similar sound to what we heard in Bulletproof as well. Again, in my voice, this is like low in my chest voice register as a female singer, and a male vocal register, this would be higher in the chest voice range. But we're hearing a decent amount of that squeeze going on in the throat, little bit of the constriction coming in there.
my soul runs. Hey. The house where I live is my own. Deeds that I've done, yes, are my own.
Deeds that I've done, hitting that thicker vocal fold. That could even be a belt just for that. Deeds that I've done. I mean, in my voice, that's too low to belt, okay? So in a female vocal register, what are we actually? It's not too low. For me, I struggle in my voice. I need to start sort of like saying that sometimes. For my voice, I struggle to belt on that A, on that vowel, okay? A4 there for some people, that is also where their belt starts to really kick in. But for males, that's right in that belting sweet. Deeds that I've done. And he's changing this mouth shape to then allow the color change to come in to bring in more darkness to the tone. And he's going lower in the range, but there isn't a lot of change going on at the vocal fold level. We still have quite a decent amount of squeeze. Let's just watch that again.
Is my own. Deeds that I've done, yes, are my own. And water that falls, you can see. I won't run, I won't hide, I won't live. 'Cause my soul runs deep. My soul runs.
Trickiest part about listening to recordings is that there is so much being gone on with changing the volume of certain sections that I don't get the sense of the acoustic changes that are going on with the voice, which honestly, between that section would be quite huge in like if they were just like if Stan was just standing here, which I would love to chat with him and sing with him. But to like listen to the sound acoustically is very different. And we got deeds that I've done. We can also see it in the body tension going on there, more tension going into those louder sections where we've got a thicker vocal fold contact. And we go, and he flipped up into the falsetto there. My soul runs when you bring the lips forward. This is kind of like it's not kind of, it is a way that we can darken the tone. The vocal tract gets longer. The vocal tract goes from the lips right through to the vocal folds. If we make it goes deeds that I've done, rather than go deeds that I've done. Can you hear the color difference that's going on there? So bringing the lips forward is going to darken that tone without necessarily needing to change the vocal folds. Look at that tongue tone. It's not pretend. In my voice, that's not the part where my tongue would start to go down. But what's happening there is he's just giving a little bit of the tongue back to the larynx in order to allow the larynx to raise enough. What happens is the larynx raises for thicker vocal folds higher in the range. But as we get to a certain point in the range, if we want to keep the vocal fold thickness, we need to kind of like donate a little bit of the tongue to the larynx so the larynx can just go down a little bit in order to get the proper vocal fold closure for that particular note. That's why there's a dip going on in the tongue. We've also got a lot of tension in the tongue. So anyone that's saying that you want a relaxed tongue, I bet you they don't sing with a relaxed tongue. You shouldn't sing with a relaxed tongue. Actually, you would sound terrible and your tuning would be off at that part of the range if your tongue was relaxed. You need tension in the tongue.
My soul runs deep. My soul runs deep. My soul runs deep.
You know, my soul runs, and he's got these high breaths that he's taking in. When we're going in thicker vocal folds, in the higher part of the range, we need to build up the subglottic pressure, which is the pressure below the vocal folds. So that means here in the thoracic cavity, we need to like compress the air, which means a short, sharp, high breath. And that is going to engage these muscles. My soul runs deep. And that helps to keep the vocal folds thick. It's not about pushing air. It's not about pushing with our butt cheeks. I have actually seen that on one video. I think I read it in a book, actually. Someone was like, just squeeze your butt cheeks. That's not going to help you necessarily to increase pressure within the thoracic cavity. But you can see there in the breath. And then when he's singing quieter now in this section, that tension has gone from the top part of his chest. I swear to you, I cannot believe that I've never seen this performance, but I don't listen to music in my free time. Yeah. I've so much music in my life with hanging out with you, with like teaching, singing all day, every day. And practicing my own stuff. I just want quiet, like for the rest of my time. I don't listen to music. So it's no wonder that I haven't heard this before, but he's amazing. I'm already like, when is Stan coming to Europe? I've got to see him. Stan, come to Europe. We'll host you. No, I don't have a performance venue. I'd love to though. Wow, fuck. That was incredible. I love the way in which, though, you could see there that also the neck muscles relaxed in that moment. Now, this is a sign of a very, very good singer. When we don't let the tension that is created from the higher belt or those higher notes transfer through into the lower sections. This takes practice. Shit, this is actually what I'm practicing at the moment because I practice so much belt with all of my singers inside the Vocal Academy. because literally everyone wants to learn to sing high and loud. So that's what I do all day. But what's happened is the tension from my higher notes has started to leak into the lower part of my range. And so this is what I'm personally working on as well. But it takes time. You know, we forget. We go like, oh yeah, that tension's fine. So we've got to learn to release it. And that Stan's done a beautiful job of that.
Hey. Hey. Don't let them change ya. Oh no. Yeah. Hey. Or even rearrange ya. Oh no, no, no. Hey. Say we got a life to live.
Oh my goodness me. Okay. Look at the way that he changed his mouth there for the, well, like an accent or the sound that he's trying to, oh, but where I live. Changing those vowels, the lips are so important. Please don't forget your lips when you're singing, okay? Oh, but in Babylon. It's going to help to create that darker sound, more of an vowel as well, slightly allowing the tongue to go back down to the larynx. Not heaps. Professional singers can do it. I would warn you, you might cough if you try that.
Let them change ya. Oh no. Yeah. Hey. Or even rearrange ya. Oh no, no, no. Hey. Say we got a life to live.
Okay, so he's actually going up onto the B flat for, say we got a life to live. We've got those. I think that this is really speech quality with some constriction going on. Constriction is where we have the false vocal folds coming over top of the true vocal folds. Say we got a life. I can't do that. That's what I'm currently learning to do. But it's beautiful. Actually, I do recommend if you're trying to create this kind of like scratchier sound, be careful. If you scratch, catch a cough, stop, do some gentle lip bubbles or something like that. This takes time and practice and not at this volume.
They say only the fittest of the fittest shall survive. Stay alive, yeah. Could you be loved and be loved? Ooh, yeah. Could you be loved and be loved?
Oh my goodness me. Okay, so could you be loved? Again, with these kind of recordings, we're not really aware of acoustically what is going on behind the scenes in terms of like how loud does that sound in an acoustic setting. Sometimes we can have thicker vocal folds and it sounds really fat on a microphone, and then we get away from the microphone and it doesn't sound quite as acoustic, like, well, obviously with a microphone it's not acoustic anymore. It doesn't really sound as loud. So what goes on then? That's a lot to do with the vocal folds thickness. So could you be loved? He could be going into a full-on belt in that moment. I'm also seeing quite a lot going on. There's just the constriction is kind of tricking my ears a little bit. So it could be a belt, which is when the cricoid actually tilts back, allows the vocal folds to become thicker than thick and gives us that really fat sound that we're looking for, even in this part of the range. This is sitting right slap bang within that really like golden zone of belting for the male tenor though.
And be loved. Ooh, yeah. Could you be loved and be loved? And you may stumble too. Like your points of fingers, someone else is judging you. Could you be loved? Could you be loved? Could you be loved? Could you be loved?
Sweetie.
That was so good. Wow, 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 wow. I love that they said we're sweaty. Singing at this kind of level, and I know that, you know, there's also Rebecca singing athlete, right? Like, they're not wrong. Singing at this type of level as a professional singer is extremely hard work. It takes a lot of training. It takes a lot of training other things within your life, like your mindset. How do you deal with these sorts of things? How do you, you know, like your fitness, your sport, your overall health, you know, making sure that your voice is doing well is a full-time job in a lot of situations. Obviously, it depends on sort of like what sort of singing you're doing and where and how often. Broadway is like a whole different kettle of fish. But, you know, when you're singing these types of songs and you're using a lot of body energy, you know, a lot of my singers inside the Vocal Academy, they're quite, we actually had an open coaching session on Monday. And a lot of them were like, oh my God, Zoe, like I'm sweating, this is such hard work. I'm like, okay, well, let's define hard work. Like hard work in terms of like, I'm putting a lot of effort into this, or hard work, like I'm feeling the pressure and this is kind of uncomfortable for me. So we're wanting to make sure that we're not going like, I'm searching for the sweat. But if you are sweating, or if you're feeling like, oh gosh, you know, like it's a bit tiring, that's absolutely normal, especially when it comes to doing hard things. They just sang for like 7.5 minutes together in a vocal booth. Like there's no air in there as well. And there's no like ventilation systems probably in there because they make noise, right? So, but when you're practicing and when you're doing your singing, I want you to be thinking about really incorporating your whole body into your singing, doing your vocal warm-ups with some movement, doing your songs with movement to help you release the tension. You can see all of them where, okay, they're on a music video, but it also does help to stop the tensing of the muscles that we don't want to tense. So Stan did a perfect job of that when he was going into those high notes and then coming back down again and releasing that tension. And that's ultimately what we want to get to do. So that is why, especially in my warm-ups that I give my students, I make sure that there is movement involved. We're making sure that we're warming up absolutely everything, warming up the right muscles for us. And that's why I've got a free vocal warm-up for you down in the description below. This is one that all my students are just like, Zoe, I just put this on and like I don't need to do anything else. So that's why I'm giving you. You can check it out in the description below. Wow. Oh my goodness me. I have a dream, and I would really love to chat about Stan and his singing journey, actually. So Stan, if you're watching, I would love to hear from you. You are the most incredible singer, and I think you have just shown how, especially a career that has spanned for so long. You've been singing for so long, but also how are you managing that? How do you do it? I want to like pick your brain all about singing. So that's just my wish that he's watching this. And I want to say that check out Stan Walker and his channel. So I'll put a link in the description below. He is the most incredible singer. Anyone can learn to sing. This takes a lot of work. So don't look at this and just go like, oh yeah, it's easy peasy lemon squeezy. You know, as I say, I saw Stan in 2006 or something. It was like 20 years ago. He's been working at this hard for a really long period of time, and the fruits of his labor are coming out by showing us how good he has developed, or how well he has developed, if I'm using proper English there, but also just that it takes time. And good things take time. So I'm going to stop with the calendar entries. Anyway, love you lots. Happy singing. Happy practicing. Just go out there and sing, honestly. Ka kite anō.